Hey soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at your higher self's advice on how to end a challenge in your life. And to do this reading, there are two ways to pick your piles. If you prefer to pick them using your zodiac signs, then you will find a link to that down in the description box, which will take you straight to the part of the introduction where we shuffle your zodiac signs and find out in which of the piles they're going to fall under today. But if you prefer to pick your piles using your intuition, today there will be two ways in which you can do that. You can either pick them using the cards that will pop out as we shuffle, or you can pick them using the crystals that we will be placing on top of each card that comes out. All right, so now that this is out of the way, let's now shuffle your cards and ask, what is your higher self's advice on how to end a challenge in your life? I see them right there. I see 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's check out what the three cards for today's reading are. For pile number 1, you have the Queen of Swords. For pile number 2, you have the Star. And for pile number 3, you have the Four of Cups. If you prefer to pick your piles using crystals or maybe even both, then let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you have the Malakite, and this is what your crystal looks like. For pile number 2, you have the yellow citrine. Apologies. And for pile number 3, you have the Moonstone. And this is what your crystal looks like. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles or 3 crystals you're the most drawn to, and this or these will be the piles for you here today. As I always encourage you, in case you feel drawn to more than one pile or maybe even all of the piles, there's no such thing as too much. There just may be more guidance that will make you understand your situation and what to do with it. Perhaps you'll be able to put things together. So follow your intuition. If it's drawing you to just one pile and that's it, that will be your pile. If you feel drawn to several or maybe even all and feel like, yeah, I have the time to take a look at this guidance today, then please do so. And once you're ready, please head down to the description box, click on your timestamps, and I will see you in your readings. In a moment, I am about to assign different zodiac signs to each pile. And so if this is something that you prefer, if this is something that you do not prefer, then please pause the video, take as much time as you need, and I will see you in your readings. If you prefer to pick your piles using your zodiac signs, then welcome to this part of the introduction. This has been created specifically for you guys. And what I like to do is shuffle your zodiac signs really well. Then, once it's ready, I will be drawing out 4 zodiac signs for each pile. Oh, looks like the Scorpio wants to come out. Let's take that. I will be drawing out 4 zodiac signs for each pile. Yeah, and see what zodiac sign is going to end up in which pile. So for pile number 1, we have Scorpio, Gemini, the signs Leo, and Taurus. For pile number 2, the signs are Aquarius. Whoa, the star card is the Aquarius card. How interesting that this is the first one that pops out. you have Libra. For the second pile, there's also Sagittarius and Capricorn. For pile number 3, the signs are Cancer, Pisces, Aries, and Virgo. So, my dear soul family, these are the star signs and their association to each pile today. Please feel free to pick your pile using your sun, moon, and rising. I highly recommend that you check out the 3. But if you prefer to pick another placement in your chart, of course, please feel free to do so as well. And once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps to the readings down in the description box. Click on your timestamps and I will see you in your readings. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. Your crystal is the beautiful Malakite. Your card is the Queen of Swords. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Scorpio, Gemini, looks like it's these 2, Leo, and Taurus. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your zodiac signs, as I always remind you guys, please don't worry about it. And remember, it's a general reading. Some specific details may resonate with you, and at other times, it's meant for someone else, and that's the nature of a general reading. Okay, so let's create some space before we begin your reading, and we'll place your beautiful crystal right there. There we go. Yeah, and let's check out your cards. I feel really drawn to this one. You have Worth. Wow, with the Queen. And 2 queens and the keyword Worth. This is very strong. Okay. You also have Follow That Car. Okay. Very interesting. You have the throat chakra with Workaholic. You have Stability with Ganesha. I feel such powerful energy here. Like there's a strong message here for you with regards to your situation. As you know, excuse me if I forgot to let you know, you of course know since you clicked on the reading, but we're doing how is your higher self advising you. No, I want to say, what is your higher self's advice on how to end a challenge in your life? Right, so you have the emotional aspect of Taurus in this card. And it says, clear water flows from a mountain spring. Yeah, if I just took a second to read that, I wouldn't have been confused for a second. Clear water flows from a mountain spring. So your card says, if you're experiencing satisfaction right now, sit back and enjoy the sparkling current of comfort and contentment. If it's distraction you're feeling, ask yourself if you can imagine a new solution. Resource or pattern of behavior. Really nice. Okay, let's pull out your tarot deck. This tarot deck has a slightly different system, but I'm going to read it in the regular way of the Rider-Waite-Smith regular way. It's one of the reasons why I don't use this deck often, although it has beautiful artwork. I personally resonate more with how I read the cards. Not that I'm not flexible to check other ways, I absolutely do. But I don't know, with this deck, although I love the work being done, I personally love to read it in my way. So I use it more in my personal readings rather than the general readings. But today I just felt so called to it. And I felt, yeah, why not? If it helps me out so much, why don't I use it in an important reading like that? Okay, so, oh, there we go. And since I haven't used it for the channel a lot, there'll probably come out cards that I may need to cover. We'll find out as we go along. Right, so this one moved. The question is, what is your higher self's advice on how to end a challenge in your life? Let's take one more. Actually, two more. This one and that one. Okay. Your cards are the 10 of Wands. Isn't it interesting that these two cards have the same oranges and blue palette, right? That's the throat chakra and the sacral chakra. And you already have the throat chakra here. All right. You also have the Wisdom Keeper. Apologies, the camera is moving. There we go. So Wisdom Keeper, Star card. Yeah, the yellows and the blues are all over your reading. Did you notice? Also, this could be a shade of yellow and the blues. So you have the Strength card. The Nine of Wands. The World card. Oh yeah, it says one because in this deck they have it the other way around. Long story, but it's the World card. The Three of Pentacles. And you have the Justice card. So, what am I seeing in your reading? Can you see your cards well, or is it crooked? It is. I knew it. Okay. I think this is better. Right, so back to the reading. There's something very, very strong in your cards. Whatever your situation is, I do of course see you going through something challenging because this is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, right? This means that you have been fighting in your situation for so long. And you're tired, and the wounded warrior is still standing there with confidence and strength and still, you know, persevering. So, or still fighting rather. Both. So I can see you showing great strength in your situation, whatever this is that you have in your mind or that your higher self is pointing towards. Your higher self, first of all, you know, our higher self is not always there to just give advice. Sometimes the advice is showing that you are on the right path. So although I do see different types of advice, one thing that I see clearly here is your higher self being proud of you. Can we say being proud of you, or congratulating you, or confirming the fact that you're doing something so right, and that is standing so strong amidst the challenges that you have. And I feel like with this car moving, it's like you're going to places. You're really moving far and ahead in the situation that you are currently facing. That your higher self is giving you advice about. Your higher self is saying, although you have been really beaten, maybe the war has been tough on you, the challenge has been super strong. This is the 9 of Wands. It's not an easy situation. But your higher self is saying it's admirable how you are standing strong. Continuing to, like, how can I say this? And continuing to persevere and do what is necessary. You have the Star card here. I see your higher self saying you're doing the wise thing, you're doing the right thing. Wisdom Keeper. I know what Wisdom Keeper is, but I'm like taking it intuitively. It's like keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is very wise. You're like moving in the right path with what you are doing. 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands really shows that you are carrying a lot. Maybe you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe the challenges are super rough and tough, and you're carrying it all on your back, standing there strong and making sure that you overcome this. You give me a strong feeling that you don't have a victim mentality. You perhaps have a shadow, a huge one, mind you, with all of the plumes here. Although you have a strong shadow to deal with, or a strong situation, it could be both. It doesn't have to be a shadow. You are really standing there with the 2 queens with a lot of dignity and with a lot of strength, with a lot of class. And you are making sure you stand up and face it. Now, the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands have something really interesting. We can see with the 9 of Wands, fruits. And this tells me that your higher self is saying, you're really right towards the end of a journey. Do you see the cards nearing the end of the card? You're really about to make this. You are about to reach the end. Keep persisting. The hopes with regards to the situation, it's like you are on the brink of getting what you've been hoping for, is what your higher self is saying. You're achieving what you wanted, and your higher self will continue to work with you. I think with the 2 crowns, it's like sending messages to you to let you know what the right thing is for you to move forward. And very soon, this huge challenging situation will be over. You will be moving away from it. And it doesn't matter what happens within this situation that you're currently in, because you are obviously not going to be part of it anymore. The World card in this deck is actually the beginning. Now I guess we talk about it since it's part of your reading like that. It's like the end of this huge challenge, and you're beginning now, and it's completing. So before we get into the major advice, the main message that your higher self wants to tell you is that you are actually on the right road, on the right path. You're doing the right thing. You're acting with a lot of wisdom and with a lot of dignity. I don't know what your situation is exactly, but maybe I'm not meant to know. I'm not seeing any cards letting me know, but you can see it's pretty rough. 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands, it's pretty rough. It's just between you and your higher self. So trust that you will be guarded. Trust that this situation is not meant to like burn and take you with it kind of thing. It's just meant to help you grow. It's meant to give you the wisdom of it and for you to go. It's like it's not written for you to maybe go down with it or suffer from it. You're just with the Wisdom Keeper and the Ganesha, you're just meant, who's by the way the god of wisdom, since I didn't clarify that. you're just meant to get the wisdom from it, the learning lesson, and with the Ten of Wands, it's going to end soon with you being enlightened. You know, I do see circles of candles everywhere. Perhaps it's talking about the wisdom you are going to get with the situation will spread. Maybe others will watch what you've done and be so inspired by it. Maybe even the people with you in this situation will really feel enlightened with how you dealt with it. That could be what this card is saying. Another thing, this card could be saying maybe you will use the wisdom gained from the situation to enlighten others. Yeah, I think there's a lot of wisdom for you and others. Since I really don't know what the situation is, the cards aren't really giving me much of a clue. It's super focused just on the advice and not on the situation itself. But yeah, it seems like you and others will gain a lot of wisdom and clarity and enlightenment from this very tough situation that we're taking a look at. So I can clearly see it's really not easy for you here. And we'll get to this card, which right off the bat gave us a lot of clues to the type of advice that your higher self wants to give you. But believe it or not, I was actually going to begin reading with this card, and then to explain this card, I went there and continued to clarify on it, and totally forgot to tell you what I'm seeing in this Justice card. So your higher self is telling you, with regards to this challenge that you have in your life, balance is key. You can see here a grandmother showing her grandchild how to treat animals with respect in nature, how to treat nature with respect. And although she's very careful with this bear, she's still giving this she's still giving it respect, like keeping a distance, being alert, keeping herself guarded. But amidst all that, she's teaching her grandchild how to respect the bear, all while being protected. So perhaps this is presenting your inner child, how you can show your inner child during that time of your life. Perhaps your inner child is afraid, or maybe your inner child prompts you out of old wounds, or maybe just out of it being scared to do one thing or the other because you're afraid. So perhaps this is talking about triggers, childhood triggers. Maybe your inner child wants you to so badly overcome a situation quickly by killing the bear, or like being mean to nature, so to speak, so that you can survive right now. While the grandmother, or the wisdom in this situation, is showing that you should have a balance of both. Keeping yourself secure and protected, of course, but also by having understanding and being kind to the person or the situation you're dealing with. This instantly reminds me of our understanding when we get more into spirituality. One of the big lessons we learn is to not hate the person, but to disagree with the action. And not only in spirituality, even in personal development. The lesson is always not to hate the person, but to hate the action. So if this is talking about people that you're dealing with, I could only guess. Because how can it be in situations? Well, I'll think about that in a moment. Let's not cut off the trail of thought. So if this is about a person, then your higher self is saying, keep yourself protected. That doesn't mean give excuses to others for them to step their boundaries and to give them the space to attack you or put you in a dangerous position. But this is to, at least in your heart, know that there is a difference between a person who could be wounded, who could have trauma, who doesn't understand any better. And that's one thing. And the other thing is to differentiate between this, and their actions. So keeping that in mind will allow you to deal in a balanced way, even towards yourself, because you won't be internally hating on this person specifically so much, or these people so much, but you will understand that you may dislike the action, and so while you're making your responses, being in that balanced place, you won't put an emphasis on maybe how to pay back or how to harm the other person, but rather how to clearly set boundaries, even if they're super harsh, to protect yourself without harming this person or the situation. So if this is a situation and not a person, I think I need to broaden my imagination. How can that... it could be talking about not hating the situation, but understanding what it's teaching you. Acceptance. This could be talking about acceptance. So in this case, your higher self is saying, learn the wisdom from the situation, accept it. And acceptance does not mean that you just have to accept not to grow from the situation or not to get the things that you want. This is not killing of hope. This is merely accepting the situation for what it is, for what it's teaching you, all while learning how to take yourself out of it, how to grow, and how to achieve the dreams that you want from it. It's just to accept that things are what they are for right now. And from that place, as you can see here, you can imagine a new solution, resource, or pattern of behavior that maybe you have towards that situation that you want to change. Or maybe there's a new resource that you can use in the situation. Or maybe there is a solution. If you keep calm, you will be able to think better, think on your feet, and deal with the situation better. And so this is about being calm, realizing the situation for what it is, accepting it, not having too much bad emotions towards it, but to shift your focus from hating it or hating that person to finding a solution, putting all of that energy and strength and mental acuity. This is the Queen of Swords at the end of the day. Of course, this is your guidance. Mental acuity. If you shift your focus from putting all of this strength that you have towards hating and not liking and being dissatisfied, then you put power there. But shifting that focus, that energy, towards your mental energy of thought and imagination, you have the mental acuity to overcome this challenge. You are towards the very end of the situation. You have already worked so much, and your fruits are about to ripen. You see the yellows and the green turning into red. You already have the fruit, I see. You've already grown so much from the situation. Perhaps why I've noticed your higher self is kind of like congratulating you in the beginning. It's the fruits in the 9 of Wands. But at the end of the day, there is you're taking time for that fruit to ripen, to taste good. So your world card here really shows again that you're towards the end and you're about to leave this whole situation. So now is the time to shift your focus towards your mind and not the emotions. And when you shift that huge power the mind power. Given that you will be greatly assisted by your higher self, there's collaboration there. Your higher self is saying, I'm there, I'll be like guiding you, just like a grandmother guides their grandchild. I'm there to guide you. Shift your focus on your feet to think, what's the solution? Because if you are triggered, as you know, even in personal development, we learn that when we are so emotional, our sharpness decreases, are able to think, what's the word called? Irrational thinking decreases. So it's always important to stay balanced and shift the focus on the mind. What's the solution? What do I do? If you feel emotions are rising, in that case, I believe, try to calm it down and to rather shift your mind on the solution, on the resource, on noticing a specific pattern of behavior that you want to change, or a pattern in somebody else's behavior that you can discuss, talk about, or prevent. For it to be, for example, maybe it's the root cause of the whole situation. So I see with the throat chakra, it's being creative, being imaginative. I think this is talking about the creative part of your mind. It is a time where you want to think creatively, and that requires tranquility, a clear mind, to be able to get in touch with that form of intelligence. Because with worth here, what your brain or what your mind with that type of focus will be able to give you is something that is priceless with worth. Something that is so valuable that nothing else can give you. I feel like that's the ripening of the fruit here. And to reach that access, that energy of divine, limitless, timeless eternity, that creative source, you want to be balanced and not affected by your emotions. The world could flare up, but you're standing on your 2 feet, connecting to source, connecting straight to that eternal energy that will always help you be sharp on your feet and know what to do. So don't be afraid. Stand on your own 2 feet, being grounded with the red here by connecting to that limitless energy. And my dear pile number 1, this is exactly what I see your higher self wanting to advise you with regards to the challenge that you currently are facing in your life. I truly wish you all the best of luck with this situation. I'm so happy to see that you're nearly out of it. All the best of luck with that. You're going to have so much satisfaction with the situation. As your higher self is showing you, this is all for you to gain a specific type of wisdom. You will be out of this situation soon. This was your reading, and if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 1, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Your crystal is the beautiful yellow citrine. Your card is the star card. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Aquarius. Oh, looks like this one as well. Libra, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. Welcome to your reading, guys. If these are not your zodiac signs, as I always remind you guys, please don't worry about it. Remember, it's a general reading. Some specific details may resonate with you, and at other times, it may be just for someone else, and that is the nature of a general reading. Okay, so let's pull out your last oracle card. And today we're taking a look at your higher self's advice on how to end a challenge in your life. Okay, so let's check out your cards. No, that is exactly the same card that popped up in pile number 1. If you feel drawn to pile number 1, I believe there are more messages there for you. So you have the Queen with Worth, and it's in conjunction to the Star. Very interesting. Okay, I think it's going to give a strong, different but strong meaning here. But if you were drawn to pile number 1, I highly recommend it. It might be something else in your life, or it might be an extension of the reading. So you have the third eye chakra with mysticism. You have mystery. Okay. You have storm. Okay. And you have courage. So this is the spirit element of Leo with courage here. It says a lion leads the pride. Move forward with courage. Face whatever it is that frightens you by finding your inner strength and your ability to persevere. Courage is a learned skill that you can build upon. Very interesting. That is the spirit element of Leo for sure. Do we have Leo in this pile? I think I remember you do. No, you don't. We don't have Leo in this pile. All right, so let me pull out your tarot deck and ask, what is your higher self's advice on how to end the challenge in your life? I don't know why I feel drawn to just picking these up top, so I'm going to trust the process. All right, and let's check out your cards. So, you have the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. I feel like things are super difficult for you. This challenge that you're inquiring about is very rough. And I feel like it's so rough it can bring things down quickly. You're perhaps afraid of that moment with the thunderstorm where everything might come crumbling down. And I do see you with this specific Four of Pentacles hiding. But although you're hiding, there's something weird. Although you're hiding, people can see you. They can still see you. It's like, look at this figure looking like that's obvious if you're trying to hide that. So I don't know why that's here. But maybe this is not people. Maybe your higher self. Or maybe it's obvious you're hiding something from yourself. Maybe you're hiding something from yourself, but it's obvious. It depends, right? It's too early. But in all cases with this Two of Wands, you really feel like you've lost direction. At this point, it beats you. Any direction could be the right direction. You really don't know. And I do see that your situation is very tough, and it does require a lot of courage to move past it or through it or out of it. Okay, so you have the Knight of Wands. So nice to see the Knight of Wands after all these cards. You have the Seven of Swords. The Temperance card. Very interesting. Very interesting, these two cards. You have the High Priestess. The Ace of Pentacles. The Justice card. The Queen of Wands. Do we have space for one more card? No, we don't. But there are 3 more cards. I believe they'll come. Actually, why? I think if we push your cards slightly up, this deck is it's smaller. I think we can fit these 3 cards. So you have the 8 of Swords. Great thing that we did that. You have the Star card. I mean, twice. Wow. Okay. And you have the King of Swords. Very interesting reading. So we do have a perspective about your situation, and it does look very rough. I think your higher self is acknowledging the fact that it is rough. To realize that it's rough is not like victim mentality, or maybe perhaps your higher self is saying, don't blame yourself for feeling the heat of the situation. It is pretty rough. So much so that I think there is some form of, what is it called? Paralysis? Decision paralysis. Yes, of course. Decision paralysis. Exactly that. Because you feel overwhelmed. The situation requires so much from you. Perhaps it requires a lot of planning. It requires a lot of intelligence. It requires a lot of effort. It requires emotional strength. That's why. So that's what the 4 of Pentacles is about. You're pulling yourself away from this situation that requires your instant attention, and that's why you're getting all these looks from yourself. It's like, how are you not doing anything about this? A part of you wants to really do something about it, but another part of you feels super overwhelmed, doesn't know where to begin, and perhaps even afraid. Or maybe you feel like you're afraid of taking the wrong move, things will fall. That type of afraid. And so at the end of the day, there is like some form of paralysis, like I'll just cave in, I'll hold off for now, I don't know where to begin. And I'm seeing another element in your reading. With the High Priestess and the mysticism, there's a lot of mystery surrounding what's going to happen to this situation. Again, I'm now understanding more, before we get to your higher self's advice, why there is such a decision paralysis. There's so much mystery with the High Priestess. With the moons, phases of the moon, talking about time, you don't know. You can't see ahead at all. You don't know what's going to happen with the situation next week, next month, next year. It's full of mystery. So, I just noticed this card is mystery as well. How crazy. Yes, so that's the situation. And with courage here, in contrast to the storm, I'm of course getting the idea that it's so rough that you're afraid. This situation needs courage for sure. You, like I said in the beginning, you have this idea, or you're anticipating with all the mystery here. You're foreseeing with the third eye chakra, at least you're seeing it this way, that one move can make everything fall. So you're afraid of something not working out, and in fact predicting it, because this reminds me of like reading a coffee cup or a teacup. It reminds me of divination. So I'm getting this sense, like the stars also, I'm getting the sense that you're divining in conjunction to the third eye. All of this is making me think of divination. You are divining, predicting that it's going to fall. And I'm noticing, as I always do, of course, with the star card, but this time I'm getting this focus on the barrel pouring into the water and a barrel pouring into the soil or the grass. So I'm feeling like part of your divination could be right, but a lot of it is just based on emotions. Maybe with the emotions here, you are... you feel like things are going to fall based off of past experience, or you seeing others who were in this situation having like fall or something. But really, your key here is the fingerprint. And so your higher self is saying every situation is different. This makes me understand that you are so afraid or divining or expecting things to fall based on maybe past experiences, like I said, or based on generally seeing people face difficulties, great difficulties, or falling in a situation like that. And so exactly that your higher self is saying, there's a fingerprint. Every situation is unique, and you can absolutely rely on that when it comes to your situation, just like a fingerprint. Just like the government relies on the uniqueness of our fingerprint, so much so that it's part of our identification, right? And so your higher self here is definitely saying your situation is super unique, although it could look like the type of situation that would usually come crumbling down. Yours is not. With the Knight of Wands, yours will persevere. It's not going to go down that way. You can see with the Queen and the Star right off the bat from the beginning of the reading that your situation will be like heightened. Is that like both of them give me the idea of going high, going up? The Star, the Queen, there's a lot of value, there's a lot of dignity, there's a lot of looking up towards these two cards. There's a lot of respect. You know, what I'm trying to say is your situation will not be crumbling down in that way. It will be going in a direction that you are in your heart hoping for. And if you follow that small light in your heart that it's saying it's going to be okay, that small light will soon turn into a bright light that will guide the way for you to win. If you're lost in direction, you begin first by that tiny little light in your heart that is saying it is going to work. So follow that. And as I can see here, your guides are saying it might feel super overwhelming. Might feel super overwhelming because obviously there are many steps ahead, so much so that the card doesn't even show us the end of the path. There's obviously a long way to go, and it will require a lot of emotional balance for you to be able to take these steps. Again, you can see the ladder, and your higher self is saying it's very tempting with the Seven of Swords to take the shortest way out. You can see with the Seven of Swords, which is a card of trickery, lying, stealing, you can see that this figure has decided to take the short road and, just get their wealth the easiest way by stealing it, right? But your higher self is saying, don't take the shortcut in your situation, because you might be winning now, but you will be taking from your future, or you will be taking from yourself, or you will be taking from another situation, whatever the Seven of Swords here means. So don't take the short way out. The short way out will make you pay for it terribly in the future, especially with the Justice card appearing right under it. So always remember the consequences of your action. And the right way to do it is not to be so tied by the end that you're not seeing, but to take the situation, since it's so big, step by step. Always thinking about the next step and forgetting for now about the emotional attachment to all the other steps. If it's overwhelming to that extent, let the future steps go for now, and take it step by step. For each step, as the card shows, will reveal more future steps to you. And to be able to go through this gracefully and with strength, you want to just focus on the next step and forget about the overwhelm of the future, because each step you take, like I said, will reveal more to you. And I see here with this Ace of Pentacles, this figure has found some treasure, which means that your higher self is saying, it might look in the beginning like, oh my God, will I have the resources? Will I have the time? Will I have the energy? Will I have this or that to go through all of that? Your higher self is saying, each step you will find your treasure with the Ace of Pentacles. Each step, each revealed step, you will find the treasure that will help you in this stage. Just like a game, when we enter a new stage and all of a sudden we're upgraded, we have all these new tools and things that help us explore that new stage. So trust in the fact that you will always have the resources to tackle each step. And you know, step by step takes us a long way. In fact, one of my very favorite quotes in life that maybe you will like is, little by little, a little becomes a lot. It is an African proverb, I believe, that I read many, many years ago. And that one quote for me personally changed everything. What we see as little, the little things that we do, becomes a lot. It really does. And in your reading here is showing that little by little, a little will become a lot. And soon, all these tiny little steps that you were focused on will be huge steps that you take one day. As you look in retrospect, one day, like as you progress through that, you look back and go, whoa, I can't believe I went all this way. The only way to go all of this way is to be balanced and go through it with grace, so that you find yourself one day, and I was going to say soon, almost channeled, one day soon, you will find yourself out of this situation. And so each step, you can see a couple of miles ahead, right? And so your higher self here is saying, strategize, plan well with what you know. Do with what you know for now. And be strategic with your resources, with your time, with whatever you have at hand. Knowing at the back of your mind with the star card, that hope that we talked about, knowing that your reading or your higher self showed you that each step you will have the resources to help you with that. Knowing that in your heart, for now, strategize super well your next steps. Make a clear plan with the King of Swords here. Super easy to apply plan for the next step. Maybe you don't know the whole way, but for the next step, make it super clear for you to be able to apply this advice. Because if you're not clear, you may not be able to know exactly what to do. And sometimes one little thing that we're not clear about can make us procrastinate on taking steps. And you're already super ready to back out, right? So to remove this overwhelm is to be super strategic, super detailed, at least in your next steps ahead, what to do, how to do it. You know, once you're sitting down to plan, make sure that you think of your future self and what it will require from you now to be able to apply the things for you that you are planning for now. And so the more details, the better. This way, you wake up the next day, or you go to that event, or you do take that step knowing, provided with a toolkit from your past self on exactly what to do. Thus, the step becomes easy and you take on the next one and the next one and the next one. Before you know it, you'll be 10 steps ahead and going, oof, I did this. I think I can make this work for myself. And you do see with the Queen of Wands and the Courage card, taking tiny steps will give you the courage and the boldness to make bigger, bolder moves in the future that may take you many steps ahead. They may be your car that will allow you to move many, many, many steps ahead that one day used to take you a month. So realize that it's not going to go in that pace forever, and that your steps will be faster, and that what you're afraid of facing now, because of how intimidating perhaps it is, will not seem like that in the future for you. And this is why your future self is advising you to not deal with something even your future self is not going to be afraid of dealing with at all. You can see that with the Lion, the Courage, the Leo, and the Queen of Wands. And so why live something you're not going to live in the future? And so in this case, your higher self is saying, just take the necessary steps. You'll find yourself at a stage where in the future, your future self saying, I got this. That was easy. Why was I so afraid of taking these steps? Because you'll have the resources, you'll maybe have the experience, you'll have the power to overcome that which used to scare you one day. And remember, my dear pile number 2, your situation is super unique. Do not compare it to the past. Do not compare it to other people. Do not compare it to anything. Whenever you get thoughts, but this happened, but that happened, remember your higher self giving you this fingerprint to remind you that every situation is unique, and you want to remember that. Remember this fingerprint as the icon for your whole reading. Knowing that it's unique, move through it with grace and take it day by day. Remove the overwhelm. Just deal with the situation for now. Forget it. It will be your way to back out of it without actually backing out of it. You know, take one step and let it be for now. And my dear pile number 2, this is exactly what I see in your reading in terms of your higher self's advice on how to end a challenge in your life. I truly hope you've enjoyed your reading. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. It does make a huge difference if you enjoy your readings. Subscribing will make a huge difference to support the channel, and it will help me to be able to depend on it more a little bit and produce more content for you guys in the future. So thank you so much for your support, for tuning in, for the love, sending you guys so much love back. You've got the situation. It's gonna go great. This was your reading, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Your crystal is the beautiful Moonstone. Your card is the 4 of Cups. And your zodiac signs, in case you were drawn to your pile, you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, are Cancer, Pisces, Aries, and Virgo. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your zodiac signs, as I always remind you guys, I really feel this one, so I'm going to take it as well. Please don't worry about it. Remember, it is a general reading. Some specific details in a general reading might resonate with you right away. It can confirm the reading for you. And at other times it doesn't, and it's meant for someone else. Just like yesterday, there was a specific card that showed Russia, and I was surprised to see how a lot of you how it absolutely confirmed the reading for some of you, and for some others, the Russia part just wasn't part of the reading, and that's okay. So yeah, always remember that it is that's the nature of a general reading. All right, let's pull out your last oracle card for this reading before we jump into the reading itself and take a look at your tarot cards. So let's explore this one first. You have the Ascendant, which is identity. Interesting. So it says, a star rises in the east. You are developing a key factor of your identity or personality. This impacts other people, but it is also an affirmation of what is important to you. Allow for a new beginning. Remember, you are unique, and find your self-assurance. How I love this card for you. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the cards. Super interesting cards to get right off the bat. The Four of Cups and the Identity. You have the third eye chakra with recovery. So is this person recovering then in the Four of Cups? The Four of Swords is more likely a card of recovery. We'll see in a moment. We'll see. Maybe it's like Four of Cups is more boredom, not being so happy or something. Let's wait. You have the emotional aspect of Scorpio. Which pile did Scorpio just pop out? I think it was pile number 1. Like right away as I was shuffling the cards, Scorpio came up in pile number 1. So if you were drawn to pile number 1, in that case, I highly recommend it. So that's the emotional aspect of Scorpio. It says trust or caution. Look at the merge of shadow and light here. It's like, is this person going to become that person, or are they going to become this person? Very interesting. So, two hearts meet. Totally different thing than what I was saying. That's what I intuitively saw. So, you may feel trusting and ready for a heartfelt connection. Or you may be feeling guarded, afraid to put yourself out there. Go slowly and have faith in yourself. Trust that you are the best judge of when it's safe to open your heart. Very interesting card. It says it's a trap. I'm getting curious about your reading by the second. You have momentum, the flow. Okay. And you have perfection with striving. Okay. I feel like this one wants to come out, so I'll take it out. And let's shuffle. Yeah, let's take that one as well. Let's shuffle your deck and ask, what is your higher self's advice on how to end this challenge in your life? Okay. So let's take a look at your cards. You have the 10 of Swords with rebirth. Lovely. Really cool. You have the 9 of Swords with sorrow. The 2 of Pentacles with moment to moment. You have the Empress with creativity. You've got the Hanged Man with new vision. I don't know why, just felt called to it. You have the Ace of Wands with the Source. The Queen of Swords with morality. And we have a lot more cards actually. Could they fit here? No. Okay. We'll reveal them in a moment. Let's follow the guidance and see the first cards that we got. So what's going on in this situation? Well, I can't help but stare at this card, right? Perhaps you're drawn to something and maybe you're looking at it in the wrong place. Not the wrong thing, but perhaps the wrong place. And if you should follow that place or that specific way to do it, it might be a trap. Yeah, that's better. Oh, sorry. There we go. There, this way you can see your cards. Okay. So it's not that your goal or the thing that you want that is wrong. I feel your higher self is saying the direction that you want to take may be something that could entrap you later. Or actually, with momentum, it's not talking about that. Guys, let me definitely correct what I'm saying. If the mouse takes the cheese and goes like if they had the agility to take it and move quickly, by the time this cage falls, they won't be entrapped. So it's to either change directions or like take it from somewhere else, or to develop the agility to do it. And actually, I see that your reading is advising you, especially with identity, to work on yourself, to have the agility to take it quickly. I don't know what the situation is, but please be patient. I'm going to put it together for you. For this person to dive in this perfect perpendicular like that, they had to train a lot. This is so opposite to this Four of Cups energy of boredom and just laying there, being unsatisfied. This energy is more of they have to train the muscles and they have to train their movements. They have to learn how to swim and they have to learn how to make that perfect jump. There's so much involved here, layers upon layers, on how they were one day able to make that perfect perpendicular jump this way and to make it look easy. So this reading is talking about agility. Your key out of the situation that you are inquiring about requires agility. And to have that type of momentum, to have that type of movement, there's a lot of practice that could be done. And practice in many directions, because your situation is like an onion. It has many layers to it. And in order to be able to get into the middle, you want to peel one layer after the other without spoiling it. You want to take one layer after another layer. See, with it moment to moment, it's taking one step after the other and not matching the energy that you're being pushed towards. What I mean is, do you see here? This is a yogi who is taking it step by step. And if you look at the background, it's actually an urban place. It's full of towers. Yet this yogi is taking it step by step, following the waves of nature, slowing down, although the city is requiring them to move quickly. And to reach that state of quickness, which we discussed here, it's interesting how your reading is showing this. To reach that stage of agility, you have to create momentum. To start off slow, to maybe learn your steps, to understand the different layers, to understand how things work. What are the different layers in the first place? How to tackle each one. And in order to do that one day, or this, you want to start slow and feel the discomfort with the Hanged Man. Because I have this idea with the Four of Cups, especially that it's your significator card, that your higher self is saying, you're not doing anything about it. You're hoping for more, but perhaps not doing a lot about it at the moment. And rightfully so, I understand your situation. If it's that tricky, you want to build the muscles and the understanding and all the other skills to be able to do that crazy thing of a mouse taking it and running before it actually comes down. I bet you $1 million you thought in your head, a mouse can't do that. It's all definitely going to fall before they leave. So in order to do something like that, you want to change who you are, how you do things. See, it's to do that, this person changed many things that we're not really considering as we take a look at the card. They changed their mindset. They changed their discipline. They have had to deal with their coach. They've had to deal with maybe the needed registration to get into the club or this area that they're training in. They had to do so much. They had to balance their training with their studies or with their work. See, they had to focus on their nutrition. They had to keep their mindset calm and having faith while doing it. See, there's so many layers to this. So your higher self is saying, to know the layers is a huge leap forward. And if you understand the layers, you will start feeling like, oh, I can actually do this. Maybe I haven't trained yet, but I can do it. And so long as you are keeping yourself tied and not taking steps, you won't find out what these needed layers are. And what you think may not be enjoyable as you do these steps might turn out to be very sweet. Why am I saying that? Because this really reminds me of a Canadian maple leaf, right? So the tree is green, but it's got maple and it's super sweet. So this is where I'm getting the idea of trust, that it may look super intimidating on the outside, but as you get into these layers, you will actually find yourself enjoying the process. You might enjoy the process so much that the end result, of course you'll love the end result, but it won't matter as much as doing the process itself. You might find yourself repeating the process over and over just to enjoy it, because it will be more enjoyable than the actual cheese or the actual gain that you're looking from it. So especially with the Empress, I feel like you're really going to indulge in this new process if you just have the faith of knowing that you are up for it, that you can do it. See, the key here, the recovery to this situation with the third eye, is to see it differently. Because if you look at it from the outside, you'll cry just like what an onion does. It'll sting. it will hurt. And the key is, if when you work with an onion for a while, it's you stop crying. In fact, a lot of people who cook now, they don't get irritated as much anymore. A lot of people. So what I'm trying to say intuitively is, from the outside, it looks like it's painful. As you take your first step, it may be very painful. But as you get into the layers, you'll learn to appreciate it and love it. Maybe you won't hate its smell anymore. You will realize just how good it tastes in food. All this is metaphorically speaking, of course. So, yeah, your higher self is saying the more you work with it, the more you will love the process itself. And so long as you're on the outside, you'll feel like it's painful. And you will continue perhaps to procrastinate more on taking the steps. You will find the value once you start digging your hands into it, or getting your hands into it, or getting involved into it. And the new vision in the Hangman, see, the Hangman is about being uncomfortable, right? So you will get a new way of seeing it, third eye, new vision, by getting into what's uncomfortable. See, you have the sun in the Ace of Wands. There will be a totally different way of seeing it. This patience of dealing with one layer after another, of understanding the situation, of starting to take action one after the other, will help you untie one obstacle after the other, revealing who you are. You know, with the Queen of Swords, it's like your true, authentic self will show you who you were always meant to be. Perhaps what is right now is masked by a cloud of negative, limiting beliefs, masked by obstacles in your way, situations in your life. And just being patient with each layer will unlock each one of these obstacles, revealing who you truly are and revealing your heart's desire. Also, this is tied to the throat chakra, will untie your either throat, your creativity, or your voice. And I think it's your voice with the Queen of Swords. In all cases, there's a whole world going on in there within you that wants to be released outside. It is your new vision. What you are seeing on the outside already exists within you. And so within, so without. And so your higher self is saying, free who you are, and you will reach your dreams and who you are meant to be by untying one obstacle after the other. And what you reach and who you become will not be a byproduct of this process. It is simply you becoming you as you untie everything that stood in your way. Okay. And thus creating that rebirth that we're seeing right there. So be patient. You're actually, crazy enough, but it seems to me with the rebirth card that you're nearly there, actually. You just need to understand the situation better and get into the training of it. Creating that momentum. Little steps, creating major steps. And your higher self is saying the choice is yours. If you choose to be complacent, you will be following your shadow. And no path is right or wrong. Perhaps following your shadow will help you in achieving many major things later on, but through more difficulties or Saturn energy. Or facing the situation head on will be the shortest path towards the light, towards where you want to be, and towards getting the things that you are dreaming of. And in the way, realizing that the journey itself was the most enjoyable thing about this whole situation. It's like there's the bigger value. Not that what you want is not valuable, which you will have, but the value in becoming that mouse that is able to take the cheese and run. That having that skill that will take you places in life, that will make you become who you are meant to be. Okay, so you have more cards. Let's get more information on what your higher self wants to show you. You have the 7 of Swords with politics. The mask and the faces here is really interesting. You have the 8 of Cups with letting go. Now that's becoming clear. You have the Page of Swords with slowing down. That's why you have momentum. You have the Page of Pentacles with adventure. Wow. And you have the Strength card with the keyword courage. So, this is very clear. Your higher self is saying the face or the mask that you have on is not you. You keep getting this idea of this is not you, this is not you, this is not you. The face that you have on, don't believe it and don't identify yourself with it. Because it could have been a mask that was on, that you created during your childhood with your creativity to protect yourself with politics from the outside world and learning how to cope perhaps with the outside world and the dynamics found within it. So don't over-identify yourself with this mask. This is a time when you are untying what the world has created to rise as who you are meant to be, which is far more impressive and stronger than what the mask can do for you. And you are leaving an environment that is not yours. That water drop is leaving to the water, creating a ripple effect. It's going back to its element. And so being who you're supposed to be takes effort, because if you just get into one layer, you won't be protected by the other layers that allow you to be who you want to be fully while being protected. And so finding that strength needs patience with slowing down. It needs you to take it slow, step by step, to be able to understand each layer fully. And when you do find yourself, you will be creating a huge ripple effect on everything around you, from people to how you live your life, to how you're experiencing the world, to even other areas hearing about you. And I just noticed, I paused because I just noticed you've got a lot of water here. How interesting. So that takes us to the keyword flow. Get into the flow. It could be scary to get into it straight away, but you do have get into the flow from the very beginning. To be able to get into that rhythm and follow the right path, you must take it slowly and let it carry you with the adventure card. So take it slow and jump into the experience curiously, like a little child would. The beauty about children is that they have the curiosity to explore everything. Everything seems exciting. So get into it, explore, and be excited. To do that, don't move quickly. Move slowly so that you are able to grasp one lesson after the other, or grasp the situation after the other. You know, a thought just hit me now. It's either using that mask to move quickly, or the alternative is to be out there, is to Move slowly so that you take the time to grasp the situation better and hence take the right action. So whatever your put yourself out there is it achieving a goal? Is it actually like word to word putting yourself out there with people? Is it doing something that you've always wanted? Or taking yourself out of a situation by taking the necessary action? You are required to jump into it and to act slowly once you do. Because with the shell of the tortoise, it represents the amount of years, I believe, that it lived, as I read somewhere. And so in that case, I think the rings or something, in that case, the experience that will only come by putting yourself out there. Both are looking at rainbows here. You can see like the whole spectrum of what the world can offer. And you can see it with the Empress card here. You can only grasp it fully by moving slowly. Yeah. Moving slow but steady with the Knight of Pentacles. And nurturing your time, nurturing yourself, nurturing your inner child through it. Be forgiving, be kind, speak to yourself softly, give yourself other chances, and pat yourself on the back when you do make these successes. Celebrate like a mother every small little step that you take. And be understanding like a mother that this is a huge challenge and that you'll grow into doing it easily. And so be kind to yourself with every little step and take it slowly. Be the hand that you need to carry yourself into this journey. And the hand is kindness, clapping, appreciation, forgiveness, kind advice, through reflection. And my dear pile number 3, you will be freeing yourself, becoming who you are meant to be. The journey is going to taste so good. You will love and enjoy this journey if you should decide to take it slow. Yeah, deal with one layer after the other. And soon you will have that agility to take whatever is needed quickly. Whatever your situation is, because there's definitely agility there. Achieving something rather quickly. You will have that quickness only by first moving slowly. And my dear pile number 3, this is exactly what I see in your reading. I truly hope you've enjoyed it. This is your advice on how to end a challenge in your life. And if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. It does help out the channel a lot. If you have been watching and perhaps didn't feel the need to subscribe because you find the videos on the feed, knowing that your subscription is not a small deal, it's a huge deal that will really help support the channel and help me be able to do what I do for you every day. So thank you very much for considering that. Love you guys so much. Subscribed or not, you're my people. Love you, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.